4th down and 6. Olbridge gotta have it. Shotgun formation. Nugent, a lot of time. Rolls out. He's running out of space. Will roll the other way. They look, corner of the end zone. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead. And the Props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, makes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown.
Motion man is Simmons. Trotman throwing towards Simmons down the field, and he makes the catch in traffic for a Bearcats touchdown.
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
And Racy comes set and delivers. And that's it on the ground to second. Throw to first, in time, and the ball game is over. South Shore survives a late scare, and they are the 2024 New York State Little League Baseball champions.
Live from the Warinanco Sports Center in Roselle, New Jersey, PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you to the American Arena League 2 and coverage of the Jersey Bearcats. Tonight, the Bearcats return home to take on their rivals from the AAL2's North Division, the Pittsburgh Outlaws. Good evening, everyone. My name is David Pizzuto, alongside my broadcast partner and colleague, Joe Foreman. We are about 20 minutes away from opening kickoff here at Warinanco, so we officially welcome you in to the Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show, a major sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats. And Joe, the Bearcats are exactly where they've been all season, atop the AAL2's Eastern Division. But after suffering a loss on the road a couple of weeks ago and then the Memorial Day bye week, it feels like forever ago since they've won a game, and it feels like the mission tonight is to get that first place swagger back.
Well, Dave, I think it's fair to say that the Bearcats were shocked and that we were shocked following the loss against the Maryland War Eagles in their last game. The War Eagles are a team that we saw the Bearcats defeat earlier this season. That game was covered here on PDF. But last time they faced the War Eagles visiting Maryland, they lost that game 25-20. And on your screen in just a few moments, you'll see the impact of that game on the AAL2 standings. The Bearcats come into the night with a record of 5-1, and as you said, Dave, they are still atop the East. Meanwhile, their opponent tonight, an opponent we'll talk about in depth a bit more later in our pregame show, the Pittsburgh Outlaws, they come in 0-4. So by all indications, this is a game that the Bearcats should win, and as you said, they're looking to reclaim some of that swagger that may have been lost in that defeat against the Maryland War Eagles. Look for a bounce-back effort from Jersey here tonight.
Absolutely, and taking a look at the standings still, Joe, tonight the Bearcats do have a chance to clinch the East Division. We'll talk a little bit more about playoff ramifications a little bit later. But, you know, Joe, even in the last game that they played that we covered here at Warinanco against the Roughnecks, the Bearcats won that game, but they fell behind late in the fourth, letting a 2-score lead slip away. They turned the ball over multiple times, and it was perhaps their most undisciplined and sloppiest game we've ever seen them play. They had numerous personal fouls, penalties. They even had an ejection in that game. You have to think that winning here is important, and they probably should, but that getting back to good, strong, fundamental football for 60 minutes has to be the key for Coach A.J. Roquet and his team.
Well, the finish to that game against the Roughnecks is certainly concerning. That being said, they did come away with the victory, so that is, of course, a huge part of the equation as well. Some of those miscues, easy to put in the rearview mirror if you come away with the victory. That being said, some of those second-half issues that appeared in that game against the Roughnecks are issues that began to creep into that first matchup with the War Eagles. Right. Following halftime of that game, Maryland made a push to make that a one-possession game. They were never quite able to do it, but they were looking for that one stop to get the ball with a chance to make it a one-score game. And to the credit of the Bearcats, they did not allow Maryland that opportunity late in that game. However, the Roughnecks with the lead over Jersey very late in their last home game, nearly took a victory from the Bearcats here on their home turf. You know that the Bearcats value protecting their home turf. They also value their performance defensively. As we've spoken to the coaching staff many times before, this Bearcats coaching staff expects a shutout every game. So you know that the finish to that game against the Roughnecks, not ideal. They come away with the win. They do fall at Maryland next time out, so that's a bit concerning. But now they get a chance a couple of weeks later to try and bounce back against an opponent that they should beat. We'll talk a bit more about this Outlaws team in just a few moments, but Jersey has to feel good about their chances tonight, and they do need a complete effort, regardless of whether or not they win this decisively or win it in a close game. You know they want to put together a full 4 quarters of strong football.
Right, records aside, there are goals and a focus tonight for the Bearcats, and like you mentioned, Joe, it comes against a rather unfamiliar opponent. You see them on your screen right here. The Pittsburgh Outlaws are in their first official season in the AAL2, and this is their first meeting between the two teams. Taking a look at your screen, they're winless this season, as we've mentioned, but they've suffered a couple of really close losses to winning teams. What do we know about Pittsburgh, and what kind of an opponent can we expect today?
Well, as you can see on the screen, this is their first year in the AAL2. They've lost a couple of close games. They've lost some lopsided games as well. So there are two sides to that coin. But they come in 0-4 on the season, still looking for their first win. They're going to have a tough time getting it against one of the league's best in the Bearcats here tonight. But if they are going to pull it off, they need to take a look at what Jersey's last 2 opponents were able to do against this Bearcats team. They made them a bit uncomfortable. You mentioned the turnovers, and they put some pressure on that defense, specifically in the second half of those games. And if you can keep this game within striking distance, easier said than done, but if you're Pittsburgh and you can keep this within striking distance in the second half, put a bit of pressure on the Jersey offense to make things happen and put some pressure on this defense to come up with some key stops, you never know what might happen. You might find yourself in this game late. Much easier said than done, but that's what it's going to take. And if the Bearcats play a full 4 quarters of the football that they're accustomed to playing, it is going to be extremely difficult on the Outlaws here tonight.
Absolutely. So the stage is set here from Warinanco. What Joe and I will do here on the Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show is step aside, take a break, hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll hear from the players and coaches themselves as Cameron Williams will join us fieldside with some on-field conversations. Don't go anywhere. You're watching coverage of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2 on the PDF Sports Network.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
This fall, NSC Apparel has you covered. We have top quality uniforms with unlimited customization and great pricing. The Supersonic uniform has pro level fabrics and embroidery, and the Sonic Speed uniform lends itself perfectly for full body designs. We also offer fan jerseys for the perfect fundraiser. Let us make you the best dressed team on the field this fall. NSC Apparel, official uniform provider of the Bearcats and the AAL2.
Today's game is presented by Total Performance Bodywork with Dave Riemann. Dave is a body worker, licensed massage therapist, and strength and movement coach. He's combined his wide variety of expertise into a system that he calls Total Performance Bodywork. Trusted by professional athletes and bodybuilders, Dave has been helping people to recover from new and old injuries, improve their breathing efficiency, athletic performance, mobility, flexibility, and their overall strength. Visit Total Performance Bodywork at totalperformancebodywork.com or contact Dave by calling 610-570-7480 or email daveriemann@rcn.com.
Refined, restorative, results-driven. At CMX iMed Bar, we blend medicine, aesthetics, and wellness into one luxury experience, led by Dr. Angela Roque. located in the heart of Pier Village, Long Branch. Visit cmximedbar.com or text 9089-232-694 to look better, feel better, live elevated.
KKT, InvestStars is now a proud sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. No matter what needs you have, F. Tarkin Jones will develop the right solution for you. See for yourself the star treatment you will get with KKT, InvestStars LLC. Call today at 201-290-4802 and be a star, just like the Bearcats.
The Jersey Bearcats are proud to welcome the sounds of DJ Sparks for the 2025 football season. As heard on Blazing 98.5 FM, DJ Sparks is perfect for nightclubs, concerts, corporate and sporting events. Bringing the party to you. The best sounds and the best time with DJ Sparks. Contact DJ Sparks on social media, email, or by phone, and let's get the party started. DJ Sparks, proud supporter of the Jersey Bearcats.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Dirks here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. If you could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
The Jersey Bearcats are back for another exciting season of AAL2 Arena football. Get on board with us and follow us all year long. For information on our donations, sponsorships, and game day, and ticket information, please contact us at jerseybearcatsarenafootball@gmail.com.
While we have a break in the action, the Jersey Bearcats would like to thank the Union Junior ROTC and the U.S. Army ROTC for their support of the Bearcats in AAL2 football.
Welcome back to the Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show here on the PDF Sports Network. David Pizzuto alongside Joe Foreman here with you, about to be joined by Cameron Williams, who is on the field and had a chance to catch up to Mateo Rodriguez. Let's throw it down to Cameron, who's down with Mateo.
Hey guys, I'm here with Mateo Rodriguez. Mateo, what will be the key to win this game tonight?
I think the key is just what we do every week, just do our jobs, just come up in here with a good mentality and just, start fast.
Yeah, 100%. You say starting fast. Starting fast, what do you guys look to do on offense? Will you look to run the ball more? Is it more of a passing day? Or will you look to see how the game's flowing and which works best?
We're just going to take what they give us. Any way we can, we're just going to try to get 6 points and try to score every drive, to make it easier for the defense.
100%. And how do you think the energy levels will play a key to success in this game today?
I think mostly it was the vibe from 2 weeks ago when we took our first loss against the Maryland War Eagles, and we did have a bye week, and we really had a good practice this week, and we really came together, and we added some new guys. So I think the energy of just trying to come here and prove that we're still the Bearcats is it's going to help us.
100%. Thank you, Mateo. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you, Cameron. No doubt Mateo is going to be a big part of getting that offense going in today's game as they look to get back in the win column. We're going to switch fields and take a look at the defensive side of the ball now. Cam is with Joey Ramirez field side. Let's throw it down to Cameron and Joey.
Hey guys, I'm here with Joey Ramirez. defense player. Joey, going into this game, defense will be a huge factor in limiting the amount of plays that they will have on offense. How do you guys look to counter their offense?
Just everyone has to do their job. Everyone's 1/8 on the field. As long as everyone does their job, does what they need to do, we'll get out there today.
100%. You guys had a bye week. How was that bye week, and what did you guys hinder on and focus on during your practices?
Bye week was definitely needed. A lot of people were injured. A lot of injuries going through the team, so everyone got to rest, practice. We went back to the fundamentals, learning how to do what you need to do at the right time. So everything going the right way, everyone getting 2 weeks to do what we need to do and really lock in. I think we're ready to go today.
100%. You go back and saying about the fundamentals. The fundamentals have been huge to you guys' success this year. Last game, you guys came off a loss, a tough loss. But now you guys are looking back to get into the fundamentals, and getting back into the fundamentals will be huge for you guys this game.
Yes, sir.
100%. Thank you, Joey. Send it back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks again, Cameron. Great job. Defensively, the Bearcats have given up 25-plus points in the last 2 games. Before that, a shutout against the Stampede. You know they'll want to get back to that kind of football here tonight. Cameron is now down with the coach's perspective for tonight's game with head coach A.J. Roque. Let's get his thoughts on the game. Cameron, back to you.
I'm here with Coach A.J. Thank you, guys. Coach A.J., it's Military Appreciation Night. What are your thoughts on that?
None. First and foremost, give our appreciation to the, men and women of our Army, right, that give us our freedom, right, to allow us to play this game.
100%. I hear you guys got some nice jerseys this year.
Oh, yeah. Wait till you see these camo uniforms. Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Coach, you guys had a big bye week. What were you guys working on at last practice to make changes to the offense and defense to ensure you guys make a strong push for this game?
To get better, right? Because the last 3 weeks, we weren't playing Bearcat football, right? We had to figure out how to get to Bearcat football. And I think we did that over the past 2 weeks. We had a tryout, brought some new guys in, and I think we'll be back.
You say you bring in new guys. What new guys have you brought to the team?
JJ Ramirez Rojas, yes. He's a DB receiver. Played at Muhlenberg, 3-year player at Muhlenberg, DB. Mel, can't forget his last name, but first name Mel. He's going to be in number 14 today. Receiver, he came into practice and climbed the wall catching balls. Like, you're climbing a wall, you've never been inside an indoor game before, that's pretty legit. And a D lineman, Jarius. He gets after the quarterback, and that's what we want.
Yeah, love it. Love the energy, Coach. Good luck tonight, Coach. Back to Dave and Joe in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Cameron. Great perspective from the guys who will be looking to get the job done. We will pay attention to those keys to the game and more. As we wind down our pregame show, we'll throw it to another quick break. And when we come back, we'll be kicking off here live from Warinanco. It's the Bearcats and the Outlaws coming up after these words. This has been the Brownstone Grill in Metuchen pregame show right here on the PDF Sports Network.
The Jersey Bearcats are proud to welcome the sounds of DJ Sparks for the 2025 football season. As heard on blazing 98.5 FM, DJ Sparks is perfect for nightclubs, concerts, corporate and sporting events. Bringing the party to you. The best sounds and the best time with DJ Sparks. Contact DJ Sparks on social media, email, or by phone, and let's get the party started. DJ Sparks, proud supporter of the Jersey Bearcats.
This fall, NSC Apparel has you covered. We have top quality uniforms with unlimited customization and great pricing. The Supersonic uniform has pro-level fabrics and embroidery, and the Sonic Speed uniform lends itself perfectly for full-body designs. We also offer fan jerseys for the perfect fundraiser. Let us make you the best-dressed team on the field this fall. NSC Apparel, official uniform provider of the Bearcats and the AAL2.
Refined, restorative, results-driven. At CMXI Med Bar, we blend medicine, aesthetics, and wellness into one luxury experience, led by Dr. Angela Roque. Located in the heart of Pier Village, Long Branch. Visit cmximedbar.com or text 9089-232-694 to look better, feel better, live elevated.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
The Jersey Bearcats are back for another exciting season of AAL2 Arena football. Get on board with us and follow us all year long. For information on our donations, sponsorships, and game day, and ticket information, please contact us at jerseybearcatsarenafootball@gmail.com.
KKT, InvestStars is now a proud sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. No matter what needs you have, F. Tarkin Jones will develop the right solution for you. See for yourself the star treatment you will get with KKT, InvestStars LLC. Call today at 201-290-4802 and be a star, just like the Bearcats.
While we have a break in the action, the Jersey Bearcats would like to thank the Union Junior ROTC and the U.S. Army ROTC for their support of the Bearcats in AAL2 football.
Welcome back here to Warinanco Sports Arena in Roselle, where we are just moments away from opening kickoff between the Jersey Bearcats at 5-1 and the Pittsburgh Outlaws, looking for their first victory still for the 2025 season. Joe, it is Military Appreciation Night here at Warinanco, and fittingly, the Bearcats are wearing their camo jerseys.
Like those jerseys, and as you said, Dave, fitting choice of attire for the Bearcats and a fitting night to celebrate our military as we're just a few days removed from Memorial Day. I got to spend the holiday in Florida and, of course, around the nation. Monday was taken to reflect on the lives lost in service of our country, so always a good time to pay our respects to our departed servicemen and show our appreciation for the servicemen still with us here. And many of them will be in attendance tonight as it is Military Appreciation Night here in Roselle. Bearcats and the Outlaws coming up, and I thought perhaps we might get introductions of starters. We did not. Dave, we did notice something as the Outlaws came out of the locker room as well, about to take the field.
Yeah, 12 players right now in uniform on the near side of us, and they're going to line it up on the line, so we'll make sure that that number is correct. But the Outlaws are coming in with only a 20-man roster, but 12 dressed here today, so we'll have to see how that affects the game and a shorthanded team. But it looks like we're going to break for our nation's anthem, so we will send it down to the public address for the playing of our national anthem.
Thank you. And now please rise if you're able to and remove your hats as we look at the United States of America, as well as those brave men and women around the globe, past and present, who are protecting our freedom with the playing of the national anthem. Tonight's colors are presented by the Union High School JROTC Color Guard. Lead Guard, Cadet First Class Sergeant Rose. With the United States flag, Cadet Sergeant First Class Pierre.
A great presentation of our nation's colors and the national anthem as we get set here for opening kickoff. Joe, this is one of 5 games going on in the AAL2 this week. It's one of the first weeks since the early part of the season where all the teams are in action. You see them on your screen here. This is the first one to kick off. A lot of the others kicking off at 6:30 and 7.
Well, when you take a look down that schedule, Dave, obviously our game here tonight would require the biggest upset in terms of an underdog taking the win, the 0-4 Outlaws against the 5-1 Bearcats. But one of the games that I really have my eye on is down at the bottom of the schedule, a pair of 3-3 teams. The Stampede and the Roughnecks go head-to-head. That's a huge swing game for those two teams in the standings.
Yeah, and if the Stampede win that game against the Roughnecks and beat the Bearcats next week, and the Bearcats lose tonight, they would win the East. So that's a big game down there, and it's a big game up top here as well. We'll get our first presentation of our Lady Bearcats before we get this one started. The Lady Bearcats getting their first action on the field, and we'll see a lot more of them as the evening wears on, and we may even get a couple of conversations with them at halftime with Cameron Williams. Joe, keys to the game for both teams.
Well, we spoke about it at length during the pregame, and I think for the Bearcats, what they're looking at is the hope for 4 strong quarters, a complete effort from start to finish. We've seen in the 2 games we've covered some shaky moments for them, especially late in that game against the Roughnecks and against the War Eagles as well. There were some tough moments for the defense in that second half, and given where that game was at halftime against the War Eagles, it looked like the Bearcats were going to run away with it and win by a massively lopsided score. It was still a lopsided final result, thanks in large part to a late Bearcats touchdown, but I think they expected to win that game by even more. So I think given what we know now with the Outlaws coming into the evening with just 12 players in uniform, the Bearcats fully expect to win this game decisively, and to do that, they need to put together 4 strong quarters. Something else I mentioned on the other side for Pittsburgh in terms of their keys to the game, what they need to do is find a way to keep it within striking distance. That's easier said than done. How can they do that? Keep the football away from the Bearcats and don't allow the big play. If they keep the ball away from Jersey, even without scoring, and they prevent those huge plays that the Bearcats so often connect on, they can give themselves a chance in this game, but keeping the Bearcats grounded and keeping them from reaching the end zone via a 1 or a 2 play drive, a tall task, especially with several players, it appears, set to play on both sides of the ball.
All right. The Bearcats won the toss and have elected to receive. That is a common thing that they do. They want the ball in their hands first and with an opportunity to set the tone. And like we mentioned before, the Outlaws coming in with just 12 players dressed in this one. We understand they may have had some transportation troubles as well getting to the arena here. So a team that's 0-4 up against it with personnel issues as well. We'll see if they can throw a wrench into the plans of the Bearcats. And one thing I noticed, Joe, we won't see it obviously on this kickoff, is that the Bearcats on their active roster tonight did not carry a kicker. So Anthony Starego was not on today's active roster that was submitted to us. So they'll go without a kicker, and perhaps we'll have to see who kicks off for them later on. But for now, they'll get the ball first.
And I think on this opening drive, if you're Jersey, you're looking to make a statement right down the field, get ahead by a score early. If you're Pittsburgh, You cannot allow one of the first couple of plays to go for a quick strike touchdown. You can't afford to fall behind much in this game. You certainly cannot afford to fall behind early.
Yeah, we know how much the Bearcats love to air it out, especially early on those one-play drives. Taking a shot on first down is very, very common with this Bearcats team. So we'll have to be prepared for that.
And I think even with the knowledge that Jersey is probably looking to go downfield early in the game, they know that Pittsburgh knows that. They're going to try it anyway. You know it. You know they are going to try it.
It's something we say often. The Bearcats refuse to change who they are. They're not going to adapt to what the other team wants them to do. They will continue to play their game. A.J. Brown will do the kicking off, and that one will not be allowed to hit the turf. It's fielded by Adams at the 10. He pivots at the 20, lowers the shoulder, and gets on the plus side of the 25, and that's where the Bearcats will start, 1st and 10.
A good return from a big return man. Nas Adams, definitely bigger than your typical return man. Often you see players with the build of a defensive back or a wideout. Instead, the Bearcats come at you with a big running back on that kick return, and he absorbed a couple of hits. As he took that one out across midfield, the Bearcats opened the game with their drive beginning in plus territory.
So at the 23-yard line, as there is no clock here, running clock in the building, and I don't see the scoreboard actually set up downstairs from us, Joe, so the clock is going to completely be kept on the field. And we've called that clock into question a few times in the previous few games, so maybe this is just as well. No cause for second guessing. Mateo Rodriguez will start at quarterback in this two-headed quarterback monster for the Bearcats. Both he and Chris Kulo have been very effective for the Bearcats this season. Although there were a few turnovers in the last game that we had here against the Roughnecks.
And Dave, it looks like they're searching.
Yeah, they are requesting that here, and that's why we have a little bit of a timeout going on here. But the clock is usually set up right underneath us in what would be the penalty box or the scorer's box in hockey. And
not today.
Not today, right. And it might have to be Anthony who keeps the clock down there, our public address announcer. It's either him or DJ Sparks, Joe.
That's true. Now, I must say that last time I was here, the break music or the timeout music was a bit different than it is right now. We had some Bob the Builder, some Dragon Tales.
No,
it was kids' night.
That was kids' night here, so that was part of it, but a little bit of psychological torture for the Maryland War Eagles that game. And for us, too, a little bit.
They got out from under, the child television themes, and all of a sudden, they were able to pick up a win against Jersey. So don't underestimate the power of the DJ over the outcome of the game.
Oh, no doubt. DJ Sparks doing a great job here for the Bearcats all season long as we have our first solid delay here in the action because of the clock. And it looks as if the officials are going to get together and here make an executive decision to go with it on the field. Unless there is an AAL rule, Joe, but I doubt it because we've been in other arenas where there was no running clock.
Are they hunting for the panel? That's the question.
Could be.
Doesn't really look like it. Anthony looks like he's taking the lead here.
Yeah.
There's the board. Here it comes.
They're going to break it out.
The armored case.
Get that. Oh, no, they're going to wave it off, Joe. Oh, now they're going to put it back in there. Anyway, this is the penultimate game for us of Bearcats football in the regular season, Joe. Next week will be the season finale here at home. And if the Bearcats cannot lock up the division, they'll have another chance next week to do it. But getting back to the thought about the playoffs, Joe, the AAL2, very different in that every team is going to make the playoffs. There's going to be 3 different championships in each region. In the North region, where the Pittsburgh is, they're going to play a one-game playoff against Michigan to determine who wins the North after the regular season's over. The East will have a semifinal and final, and so will the South will have a semifinal and final. Then the North champion will play the East champion in a one-game playoff. Whoever wins that will battle the South champion for the whole championship. So there could potentially be 4 playoff games if you're an Eastern team to win a championship. So getting first place in the East is crucial because all 4 of those games, if you're the Bearcats, would be right here.
Well, that's exciting for us here on PDF.
Sure
we
is.
might get the chance to cover 4 playoff games, which would be great. And the Bearcats are poised to have that home turf advantage moving forward into the postseason right now atop the East. And with a win tonight, they lock it up.
Right.
And I think if you're Jersey, you do not want to see first place hanging in the balance next week. Take care of business tonight and then go out next week without that added pressure where you never know. Anything can happen when it comes down to one game. And that's not to say the Stampede are definitely winning to set up that game.
Of course.
They could easily lose this week, and the game next week then would not matter in terms of standings. But if you're the Stampede, you do have the potential for home turf in at least one round.
Right, exactly that. And also, Joe, right now, as it stands, the Bearcats' first opponent would be the War Eagles, who they lost to last week or 2 weeks ago in their last game. That would be the 1-4 game. So even if next week's game doesn't really count a lot, it could still affect the seeding between second, third, and fourth place teams. And the Bearcats, will have a say in who they play, but with the result of that game, potentially, because I do believe that the War Eagles play the Roughnecks in the final game of the season as well. So either way, even if they lock up the East here, the game next week will be big for the Bearcats as well.
And that leaves the potential for plenty of movement with those divisional games in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, this is a non-divisional game, but beyond this week, you have, of course, the Bearcats and the Stampede. You have that divisional game going on this week as well with the Stampede and the Roughnecks. So plenty of movement, very possible during the last couple of weeks of the regular season.
So I think, Joe, we are officially ready to go. They've put a whole 15 minutes up on the clock, and we are set. So about 15 to 20 minutes past when we were supposed to start this game, we're going to see our first offensive play.
We're going to find out if we have any Knicks fans on the officiating staff tonight.
Absolutely. All right, so Rodriguez will work out of the shotgun. Adams to his left. 2 in motion, top side. Rodriguez is going to look. Corner of the end zone, and that's broken up. A nice defensive play by Brown right at the goal line.
And he had a chance to pick that ball off, Dave. He got his head around at the last moment there, which is why he wasn't able to make the interception. But he was in position, swatted that football away. But given his positioning on that play, he certainly had a chance for the INT.
It'll be second down and 10. We'll get another look at that a little bit later. With Brown coming in to break that pass up. Adams this time from the right side. He will get the handoff underneath and gets stormed out of bounds inside the 20.
That's going to set up a third down for Jersey early in this game. And if you're the Outlaws, you can't ask for much more than that. They took the shot on first down. That was not surprising. However, Pittsburgh was there defensively. And now a big opportunity to get off the field potentially as Rodriguez looks to throw.
It is 3rd and 5. Some backside pressure and dropping it off right near the sticks. Just ahead of it, it looked like Simmons made the catch. Forced out of bounds, and judging by the spot, they'll be a yard short, 4th and 1.
Well, this is a big play right here. If you're Pittsburgh, you have a chance to make the early statement on defense if you can get off the field. It is, I would say, a long yard. 4th and a long yard. Now, the big question becomes, do you put it on the ground with Nas Adams here, the big back, or do you maybe try and get the quarterback moving and give him the option to run?
Right. You have a lot of options here, especially with Rodriguez back there. And the Outlaws only look like they will rush 3. They get some movement from left to right, and it is a pitch for Adams. He drops his shoulder, breaks the tackle, and walks in for the touchdown. A great initial burst. He got by a couple of defenders, and Adams scores the first 6.
And that's a really tough position to be put in as a defender. They get the ball to Adams out of the backfield on the toss, out of the gun. And your goal there as an offense is to make it so that you have one player isolated to make that tackle on Adams. And they did isolate A.J. Brown on that play. Brown made a great play to start the drive. He was put in an impossible position. He was coming in from that outside cornerback spot, taking a bit of an odd angle at Adams, and if you're not going at him head on, you're not going to make that tackle. Adams broke it and took it to the house for a touchdown.
And there will be a kicking game, only it'll be Chris Culo kicking it here. Right-footed kick, and it's wide left as they miss the extra point, and the score will remain 6-0. Let's get another look at that, Alex, the touchdown. But, yeah, you could see a little bit of a bobble on the pitch. And you'll see the Adams corralling it. There's the little bobble, but settled it down and made Deck and Brown miss for the game's first score.
Yeah, once Adams accelerated upfield, even a pair of converging Outlaw defenders couldn't make the play. And even if they had made that tackle and come in and converged on him, I don't think there's any chance they would have stopped him from picking up that first down. So Adams able to turn a 4th down and 1 into 6 points. And perhaps not in the way we expected. Jersey takes the early 1-score lead with the touchdown on the opening drive. It comes on the ground, and we don't often see the rushing touchdown from that far out. Jersey a passing team, but you got the sense that on 4th and short, they would look to run it. The question was with the quarterback or with the halfback.
Chris Culo will operate from the holder on the extreme right of the goal line. It's a line drive kick, and it is corralled and taken around the left side and spinning and twisting inside the 20-yard line. That was Omar Stewart.
Good return there by Stewart, and something not to be lost there. When you're dedicating a holder to the kick, that takes one man out of kick coverage very early in the kickoff. And especially when you have that line drive style kick that lands at about the 10 or the 15 with the running start for the return man, that puts the receiving team in a really good position. It was actually back inside the 10, but nonetheless, that low line drive kick gives the return man a chance to make the running grab and get moving upon receiving that kick. Obviously, it did not hit the ceiling, and with that running start, Stewart took full advantage, and now Pittsburgh has even better starting field position than Jersey had inside of the Bearcats' 20.
And Josh Brown, number 6, who's playing center, also had a great block on that kickoff as well. From the shotgun and in deep trouble and taken down with the sack was Tarir Mims. So he gets a nice welcome into this game. It'll be 2nd down and long coming up. Looks like about a 2nd and 19.
Well, I think, Dave, after just one offensive snap, the big question mark for Pittsburgh becomes, how are they going to block this Jersey defensive front? The Bearcats sent the blitz on that play. They have the size advantage up front, and it showed on that first down snap.
It sure did, and the Bearcats wasting no time sending pressure. They only have the 3-down linemen down there. I think they brought some extra heat, as they do again this time around, and getting out of the pocket and getting his helmet ripped off as he passed the original line of scrimmage was Mills. No flags there late.
And I think that's one way you can use the aggressiveness of Jersey on the pass rush against them. They sent 4 there. Now, if you get a look, I have to pull the number off the jersey, but on the left side of the offensive line for Pittsburgh, they have a huge left tackle. I don't know if that's Ryan Helmick, number 88. It is. So I caught the 8 on that number, not the first digit. But either way, that is a big left tackle they have. They can use that to maybe get their quarterback, Mills, moving to that left side like they did there, accelerating up the field for some gains on the ground. He took a nasty-looking hit at the end of that play as well. They're still working on his helmet at the moment. Assuming the play clock is running, it has to be coming down toward its conclusion here.
3rd and along 7, short 8 coming up here. Official looking down on his watch. They do bring some motion here. Miles goes from right to left. Again, heavy pressure, and it's intercepted by Ramirez. He's going to get stood up right there. Whistles sounded. It was the tip drill, Joe. It was the aforementioned Ryan Helmick on the line of scrimmage who actually tipped it. Could have been an illegal touch there, Joe, by 88. You could see it right there, and it goes into the opposite 88's hands.
He caused the turnover, Dave. They had the completion. Whether or not they were going to get anywhere with it, having that pass caught so close to the boards, that's the question on that play. We'll get one more look at it here, slow it down just a bit. But when you look at this replay here, you will see Helmick gets his hand up and disrupts what would have been a completion. You'll see it again right here. I'm not exactly sure. That makes me question the play design there. It looked like they had their man open with blocking. Really tough to pick up a number in that traffic. But as an offensive lineman, if you know the play call to throw your hand up there, I'm not sure why you do it.
Yeah, it's a fair question to be asked. Bearcats take over after the game's first turnover. They're up by a score, and we have flags down. It looked like getting ahead of the play was Simmons, along with Javon Thomas on this near side.
Waiting to see the call here. And they are moving the Bearcats back. It is a false start against Jersey. You had it right, Dave. A.J. Roquet beside himself after that. And those are the little things that you don't want to see if you're on this Bearcats coaching staff. Offense off to a good start on that opening drive, did what they were supposed to do, went down the field, found a way to score, picked up the touchdown. They got the stop defensively. You don't want to back yourself up here and give Pittsburgh a chance to perhaps score on defense.
Judging by the routes that it looked like Simmons and Thomas were running, they were going to look for the home run again. It's first down and 15. Rodriguez again, Adams to his right. They send them out again, and some fly routes developing, but Rodriguez is going to step up in the pocket and is tripped up, but gets about 10 or 11 of those yards back. It'll be second and short.
Well, that was a good play by Josh Deck to slow him down, and that gave William Walden the chance to complete the play and make the tackle, because if Rodriguez is able to escape here, he might take this all the way. That slowed down on the contact by Deck just enough to allow Walden to make that tackle, and that will set up a second down and about 5.
We do have a timeout that's being called here. It's an official's timeout. It could be for the dancers here. We'll have to see what they decide to do. Actually, it will be for our first quarter sponsor. And our first quarter sponsor, while we have this break, we remind you that the first quarter is brought to you by Pino's Bakery, located at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle, New Jersey. Pino's is your prime stop for specialty cakes and pastries and deli delights. Always fresh and made to order. Our family-owned shop prides itself on bringing our kitchen into your homes and your heart. Pino's is where family, tradition, and goodness is a daily thing. Visit us at 1027 Chestnut Street in Roselle or online at www.pinosbakery.net. Thank you to our friends at Pino's.
We were treated to some Pino's a couple of games back, Dave, and I wasn't eating any sugar. I made an exception for that, and I'm glad I did.
Yep.
Good stuff.
What we heard, it was really good. We could sure use a few more of those.
Yeah.
But
I know where I'm headed after the game. Are they open that late?
Maybe.
Get me the hours.
Now, we got our military guests doing something. Oh, yeah, they're going to do the fitness challenge, Joe. That's going to be the first quarter highlight here.
Now, they're doing it, it looked like in boots.
Yeah.
Those are combat boots, tactical boots, not Timberland boots like I wear. They're a bit more functional.
Right. This might be a three-way tie for first place here. Oh, there we got the speed coming out at the end.
That was real easy for them. No surprise.
Well, we thank our friends in uniform and in all of our armed forces who are joining us not only for today's game, but of course via our video stream as well, which we should mention, Joe, if you are experiencing problems, and we believe that you might out there, it is a product of the Wi-Fi here at Warinanco. We are at the mercy of it, but in the event it's really poor throughout the game, we will upload a clean copy of tonight's game upon our return to PDF headquarters later on tonight.
PDF headquarters, remote locations throughout the state of New Jersey.
That's right.
You never know where we're actually calling the game from. Though we are at Warinanco tonight. We're in person tonight.
We are in person.
Not always. You never know.
We have the ability. Next week we'll be 4,000 miles away from the broadcast booth. More on that later. Rodriguez looked like he will take it himself, and now he turns on the afterburners and does have well more than enough for the first down, and he's inside of Pittsburgh territory.
And I like that play call from the Bearcats because early in this game, the Outlaws secondary has done a very good job keeping those Jersey receivers in front of them, not allowing the opportunity for the big play. You get the receivers there serving as blockers, and as a defensive back, you're backpedaling, trying to keep those receivers in front of you. Well, when that receiver's coming up to block you, that puts you in a bad position backpedaling and allowed Rodriguez to pick up the first down.
And as they've been doing, they're looking to work quickly are the Bearcats. And it's a bad snap. That ball is on the turf, and I think Adams was able to crawl back on top of it. A loss of a couple, but we'll try to see what went wrong there. We'll slow it down a bit as well. Take a look at it in slow motion.
Well, that was almost catastrophic for Jersey, and if that turnover was going to occur, it's fortunate for the Bearcats. It would have occurred on the plus side of midfield, and it's just a poor snap.
Yeah, looks like it maybe went off the center's leg on the way to Rodriguez. Never did get a chance to see it.
I always wondered how you snapped it off your own leg.
Right. Looks like that's Steven Nelson.
Something else to note as well very quickly. I think on the Pittsburgh side, they have a backup center in, and the very first snap of the game came out very, very slowly ahead of that sack.
2nd and 13 here. Motion again. Rodriguez looks to his right now. Middle of the field. A strike in the end zone. Hands up, touchdown.
And a strike indeed, Dave, as we wait for the touchdown score to get to his feet.
And it was a strike. It looked like it was Kyle Ward who made the catch.
Well, he disappeared and
he sure did.
Crashed into the boards in the corner there out of our view, but it took a perfect throw to connect on that touchdown, and a perfect throw it was from Mateo Rodriguez. And that's more like the Bearcats offense we're accustomed to seeing. No problems airing it out down the field. The Outlaws defense had held serve early, keeping those receivers from being able to convert on big plays. Not that time.
Absolutely, and that does not happen unless Rodriguez gets the time to throw, and he had a world of time as Chris Culo puts that one through the uprights for our game's 13th point. So the Bearcats up by a couple of scores here early.
And we are back from Warinanco for the start of the second quarter. Hopefully the break between quarters gave us enough time to properly get back online without any connectivity issues as the internet continues to wreak havoc on our broadcast. Meanwhile, the Bearcats have been wreaking havoc defensively. 2 early turnovers for the Pittsburgh Outlaws, and they trail 20-0 as we begin quarter number 2. It's a quarterback keeper to open up Pittsburgh's third drive. And Tyree Mills is thrown down to the turf just outside of the 20. Second down and about 7 coming up. Now, something I did pick up when the quarter began, the clock was running. So it looks like they may play with a running clock the rest of the way. We'll confirm that as the quarter progresses. But it looks like for now they do have a running clock. That being said, with the last play being a run, the clock would still be running given the outcome of that last play. 2nd and 7. And Mills will hand off, and immediately Jordan Miles was contacted. He somehow broke free and was slammed into the glass at about the 23. So Miles initially swarmed in the offensive backfield, was in heavy traffic, and was able to bounce that one back outside and pick up a nice gain on the play. I think officially he's going to get about 5, which would bring up a 3rd down and 2. The Outlaws still looking for their first down, as we had a flag on the play as well, so it's going to be a face mask on Jersey. That flag got lost in a mass of bodies along that far side, but the Outlaws do indeed pick up their first down of the game. Once again, 2 flanking Mills in the offensive backfield. Low snap, skips it to the arms of Mills, and he dives on top of it. Dave and I touched on it earlier. Potentially a backup center in there. Josh Brown snapping tonight for Pittsburgh. And that snap pretty much died on the turf, about a yard in front of the quarterback, Mills, and that put him in a really dangerous position. You dive on top of that ball, and you know that you're going to have big defensive linemen immediately jumping on top of you. Fortunately for Mills, only one Bearcat got through and touched him down on the play, so no harm comes from it. That being said, it is a loss of about 4, 2nd and 14 here. Better snap this time. Mills throws downfield and too high. Omar Stewart, the intended receiver, but the look was there. And I think at the very least, that has to be encouraging if you're Pittsburgh. They got the one-on-one matchup up the seam, but the throw just a bit too strong for Stewart. And that will bring up a third down at about 14. The Outlaws break huddle with about 10:40 to go here in the second quarter. And by the time this drive comes to an end, we are very likely to be well inside of 10 minutes remaining in the first half. So that clock ticking very quickly against Pittsburgh here. Two receivers wide. Once again, two backs flanking Mills in the offensive backfield. He will keep it. Looking for a running lane. Can't find one. And down he goes. Taken down for a big loss at the 21 of Pittsburgh. And you'd have to think that if Pittsburgh has a punter, they may use him here. But I don't think that's going to be the case. So it looks like the Outlaws are going to go for it here on fourth down. And a failure to convert here very well could be it for Pittsburgh in this game. Clock has ticked inside of 10 minutes. Jersey leads this one 20-0. Pittsburgh to the line, fourth down and close to 20. The fourth down snap, Mills airs it out, and he has a man open, it's caught! Stewart makes the grab, and he has the first down. Omar Stewart with a great catch. He had a man bearing down on him from behind, but the Bearcats have to be perplexed with how he got so open. That ball was up there for what seemed like an eternity. Stewart waiting for it, squared up to his quarterback, took the hit from behind and held on. And with arguably their backs very much against the wall in the first half, Pittsburgh converts on a fourth down and about 20. And with that, they have it inside of the Jersey 5-yard line. And look at this formation. They have big Ryan Helmick under center. He fumbles the snap and is immediately taken down for a loss. Well, if there was ever a formation that resembled an attempt at a tush push, that was it. But that play, much more difficult to execute than the Eagles make it look. Another Pennsylvanian team, Philadelphia Eagles. Their AFC counterpart in Pennsylvania, the Pittsburgh Steelers, a close neighbor to the Outlaws. And we are now approaching the midway point of quarter number 2. 7.5 on the clock here in the second. And very quickly, this second quarter is ticking away. Inside of 7:20 on the clock now. Mills back in the game at quarterback. And he will toss it to his right. And immediately Miles is brought down. Joey Ramirez in there along with a host of other Jersey defenders. And very quickly, it is third down and goal from about the 7. Goal to go came at about the 3. So on 2 plays, Pittsburgh has lost a total of 4 yards. And they have really not showed any signs of being able to push the pile forward at the line of scrimmage or the ability to block for an extended period to maybe get a throw off.
No shoes.
DJ Scratch, you sick for this one. I'm from my New York Knicks. Gotta rep the city with my New York Knicks. Yeah, I'm from my New York Knicks. Holla if you with me in my New York Knicks. Yeah, I'm from my New York Knicks. From my New York Knicks. I'm making noise for my New York Knicks. Seek and destroy with my New York Knicks. Yeah, this is my New York Knicks. Got the ball following the New York script. Pass it to Jimmy Bunch on the fast break. Quick strap. Boys looking up. You already make them trick. This is my New York Knicks. Josh Hart, they don't miss this. OG, Illinois, homie, don't slip. And Carl Anthony Towns, crack another whip. Yeah, this is my New York Knicks. You know they really deserve the props they get. Running like a train when they on offense quick. Intergalactic defense, they
Hope so. All right, back from Warinanco. Just inside of 5 minutes to go. Here in the second quarter, Chris Kulo going deep, incomplete. Open up the chat, man. That's what I turn it up.
So very quickly, while we did have a break ahead of our return to the live stream, the second quarter is all about fitness, and our contestants were kicking field goals out on the turf, but our second quarter is sponsored by Infinite Athletic Training, located in Piscataway, New Jersey. We'll tell you more about them in just a moment. Second down. Chris Kulo sends a man in motion. That is Manny Stewart. He is looking to throw downfield, complete over the middle. Doug Washington with the reception, and he's tackled just shy of the 15. But speaking of Infinite Athletic Training in Piscataway, they're also part of our second quarter giveaway at Warinanco, the Electrolyte Boost. Imagine hydration, but without the water. Get your performance back on track. Get boosted with the Electrolyte Boost. For samples, fundraising for your team, or to purchase packets, contact Jermaine Sanders, co-owner of the Jersey Bearcats. We'll tell you how to reach him ahead of our next snap. Man in motion once again is Stewart. Chris Kulo looking. He has plenty of time. He steps up and will take off with it. Chris Kulo thrown down to the turf by Josh Deck. Half with a stop. And if they can do that, then they give themselves a shot entering the third quarter. And that's all you can ask for given the way this game started, given the shorthanded squad for the Outlaws tonight. We'll see if Jersey can keep this drive going. 2 men in motion. Low snap. Chris Kulo has it. He also has time. Chris Kulo running out of time, throws, and that is going to be a flag for pass interference. And that's one that you absolutely hate if you're Pittsburgh. No need for that. No room for Adams to go anywhere after the catch. And they took him down before that ball arrived. So if this is an automatic first down, which I believe it is, the Bearcats' drive will continue deep in Pittsburgh territory. They have moved the sticks up to the 16. It is an automatic first down. It's going to be a spot foul against the Outlaws. The clock at 43.4. And the official announcement comes over PA. Ball spotted at the 16. First down, Bearcats. Three receivers to the left of the formation for Jersey. Chris Kulo flanked by Adams in the offensive backfield. 2 men in motion once again. And it looks like we might have a false start here against Jersey. We do, so they'll back them up 5 more. So the Bearcats have done a lot of good things in this first half on both sides of the ball. Defensively, they've forced a couple of turnovers, a third turnover on downs. Offensively, they have scored on all 3 of their drives, but there have been some miscues along the way. A couple of false starts, a botched snap. There's been some good and some bad for Jersey throughout this first half, and I think the coaching staff would likely focus on the areas for improvement. Coming out of half number 1 as Chris Kulo throws out of the reach of Washington. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 15 for Jersey here. The Bearcats have an even 30 seconds to put points on the board. Pittsburgh perhaps thinking of getting the ball back one more time earlier in the drive, but now with just 30 seconds, the focus squarely on keeping Jersey out of the end zone here. Once again, Stewart in motion. Chris Kulo wants to throw, and they were trying to set up a screen pass. It was snuffed out, and a massive hit on that play by Zach May took the helmet off of Doug Washington. That play defended extremely well by Pittsburgh, and a timeout has been called. We understand once again that our video feed might be lagging just a bit. We are going to change our frame rate and our resolution at halftime. And then in post, we can always take our 1080p game film and re-upload with all of our audio included.
Yeah, Joe, what's happening is we've tried every hotspot that we own, Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, you name it, we have it. But what's happening here at Warinanco is that the internet is completely dropping to zero and then resurfacing at 6 or 7 upload speed. But it's just not cooperating today. And we've had this happen to us before here at Warinanco, where there is just no internet whatsoever. And that immediately kicks us off and ruins our frame rate.
We're going to try and drop it in the second half. 18 seconds to go here in the first half. Chris Kulo downfield, tipped, incomplete. William Walden in coverage underneath. A.J. Brown was there over the top as well. Walden with the pass breakup sets up a Bearcats fourth down with 10.9 to go. So one last chance here for Jersey. They can pick up a first down. At least I thought so. I think they can pick it up at about the 6. So Jersey would need a gain of 19 to pick up the first. They need 25 for a touchdown. Fourth down, ball at midfield.
We're not going to do it. Yeah.
Stewart in motion. Chris Kulo steps up through the pocket. Throws downfield, end zone! Who has it? It is Stewart! Touchdown Bearcats! I believe he took it away from Brown, who is still down. However, there is a flag for holding, and that touchdown will come off the board. And the concern now is with a downed Outlaw in the end zone. I do believe that is A.J. Brown. He and Stewart both had two hands on that football, and Brown came down straight into the boards. And I think Brown contacting the boards is what caused him to lose his grip on the ball. But either way, that touchdown has been called back, and the Bearcats will have fourth down from their own 15. 1.2 remaining on the clock. This will be our final play of the half. By all indications, we are back online for the moment, so we'll see if it remains that way for at least one more play. Fourth down and a mile. Ball at the Bearcats 15. They lead it 20-0. And I think going ahead 4 scores would put this game away. The Outlaws hoping to get the ball back to start the second half, down by just 20. Stewart in motion. Chris Kulo spins away from pressure as the horn sounds. He throws downfield, and perhaps an omen of sorts. He sticks one into the Bearcats championship banner. The championship banner makes the reception to end the first half, but that won't count for anything as we head to halftime with Jersey leading Pittsburgh 20-0. Joe Foreman on the call alongside Dave Pizzuto. I'm going to step off headset here. Dave is going to reconfigure our resolution, and we are going to come back in time for the second half, hopefully mastering the internet here at Warinanco. Once again, our score at the break, Jersey 20 and Pittsburgh nothing.
Burgers are better at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
My weekend starts with the Brownstone burger, topped with cheddar, barbecue sauce, and a fried egg.
Give me the Hawaiian burger. I love the Canadian bacon and sweet pineapple.
How do you like your salads? Shrimp, chicken, beef?
Stop in and see why families are eating good at the Brownstone in Metuchen.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
We'll meet you at the Brownstone.
This fall, NSC Apparel has you covered. We have top quality uniforms with unlimited customization and great pricing. The Supersonic uniform has pro level fabrics and embroidery, and the Sonic Speed uniform lends itself perfectly for full body designs. We also offer fan jerseys for the perfect fundraiser. Let us make you the best dressed team on the field this fall. NSC Apparel, official uniform provider of the Bearcats and the AAL2.
Today's game is presented by Total Performance Bodywork with Dave Riemann. Dave is a body worker, licensed massage therapist, and strength and movement coach. He's combined his wide variety of expertise into a system that he calls Total Performance Bodywork. Trusted by professional athletes and bodybuilders, Dave has been helping people to recover from new and old injuries, improve their breathing efficiency, athletic performance, mobility, flexibility, and their overall strength. Visit Total Performance Bodywork at totalperformancebodywork.com or contact Dave by calling 610-570-7480 or email daveriemann@rcn.com.
Refined, restorative, results-driven. At CMX iMed Bar, we blend medicine, aesthetics, and wellness into one luxury experience, led by Dr. Angela Roque. Located in the heart of Pier Village, Long Branch. Visit cmximedbar.com or text 9089-232-694 to look better, feel better, live elevated.
KKT, InvestStars is now a proud sponsor of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. No matter what needs you have, F. Tarkin Jones will develop the right solution for you. See for yourself the star treatment you will get with KKT, InvestStars LLC. Call today at 201-290-4802 and be a star just like the Bearcats.
The Jersey Bearcats are proud to welcome the sounds of DJ Sparks for the 2025 football season. As heard on Blazing 98.5 FM, DJ Sparks is perfect for nightclubs, concerts, corporate and sporting events. Bringing the party to you. The best sounds and the best time with DJ Sparks. Contact DJ Sparks on social media, email, or by phone, and let's get the party started. DJ Sparks, proud supporter of the Jersey Bearcats.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Dirks here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about you know I'm right, the podcast. That's my you know I'm right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
The Jersey Bearcats are back for another exciting season of AAL2 arena football. Get on board with us and follow us all year long. For information on our donations, sponsorships, and game day, and ticket information, please contact us at jerseybearcatsarenafootball@gmail.com.
While we have a break in the action, the Jersey Bearcats would like to thank the Union Junior ROTC and the U.S. Army ROTC for their support of the Bearcats in AAL2 football.
Welcome back here to Warinanco in Roselle, where we are actually going to throw it down to Cameron, who's with head coach AJ Roque. Cameron, take it away.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with Coach AJ. Coach AJ, you guys are up 20-0 at half. What has been working so well for you guys this far?
Just, playmakers. We have some drops, some penalties that cost some touchdowns, but, that's what you get when you haven't been around for 2 weeks, right? You get the little jitterbugs and little things out, but, we're coming back second half, be energized.
100% you say energized. The defense have been very energetic so far. 2 plays away, Terry Ramirez's big interception. What do you look to build off of with that?
Continue energy, right, and finish, right? Continue to play fast and physical.
100%. Mateo Rodriguez has been slinging it really well. So is Chris Kulo. How do you look to build off with those 2 quarterbacks? Keep running the offense very well. Will we also see more from Nas Adams with the running game?
Yes, absolutely.
100%. The coaches over there with the Outlaws have been frustrated so far. How do you guys look to put them away?
Continue playing our game and, like you say, put them away. Right? Don't let them hang around.
100%. Thank you, guys. Back to Dave and Joe in the booth.
Thank you, Cameron. Great job, as always, with head coach Roque. And, Joe, we'll talk a little bit about the internet connectivity in just a moment, but we did miss a good chunk of the second quarter. If you can, a little bit of a synopsis from your vantage point.
Well, let's go back to the beginning in case it was spotty. Game began. Bearcats were faced with a 4th down on their opening drive, and Jersey was able to convert, and not only did they convert, they scored a touchdown. And really from that play onward, the Outlaws really struggled to find their footing. They got the ball on offense, and once they got it, they were faced with a 3rd and long. They attempted a screen pass, deflected by their own offensive lineman into a pick. That was one of 2 turnovers for the Outlaws in that first half, plus a turnover on downs. And I think they really struggled to maintain any consistency on offense. Of course, being shorthanded plays a role in that. But they were given a shot in the arm. They hit a big play. That may have occurred when our internet went down. At the time, they were down 20-0, our current score. They hit a huge 4th down completion downfield as Tyree Mills was able to connect with Omar Stewart. That gave this Outlaws team some life. They had a 1st and goal from about the 3. They went backwards 4 straight plays. The Bearcats got the ball back late in that second quarter, as that first Outlaws drive took almost 2/3 of the quarter. The Bearcats got it back with less than 5 minutes. So our viewers who missed the second quarter, they missed just 2 drives. The Outlaws turned it over on downs. The Bearcats got it back. They got within scoring range, were then pushed backwards. Ultimately, they were stopped on 4th. The second quarter was 2 possessions. That sends us here to the 3rd. Jersey leads 20-0.
And for our viewers, of course, who have been watching and, of course, who have seen the internet connectivity come out, we do apologize. It is a statement that we say usually at the beginning of these games with the Jersey Bearcats, is that we are at the literal mercy of the Wi-Fi here. Now, the Warinanco's ice skating rink is separate from their facility. So their facility that provides the Wi-Fi signal, that is about, that's in the foreground of what you see in the background for us. We are outdoors. We're surrounded by cinder blocks behind us, by wooden beams to the right and the left of us, and the signal here is absolutely atrocious. And we have no business going live from Warinanco, but we do it because we have 3 or 4 hotspots that we work off of, and they work as a team. And we're using actually a 4th hotspot with our with Cameron Williams coming through and providing his at this venture. But we see some of the comments. We know whether they're snarky or not. They come from a place of frustration. No one and I mean no one, is more frustrated with a poor Wi-Fi signal than we at PDF Sports Network, because our job is to elevate streams for organizations that wouldn't normally have them. So if you're frustrated, so are we, and we're looking to bring you a good second half. Let's put it that way.
Well, Dave, I caught on at about halfway through that apology. I said the chat must be very, very upset.
They were giving it to us a little bit.
I'm sure they were.
And it's not just the chat. It's the text messages that we get. It's what's going on. Hey, do you know that this is happening? We appreciate it. Believe me, we get it. But we also see it, and this is our product here. And it's frustrating when you're working in a venue that just refuses to get better Wi-Fi signal for us, even when we've gone halfway and have offered to install better Wi-Fi here.
Now,
it is frustrating.
Idea. What if, for the season finale and the playoffs, we move to the other side with the open roof?
It could be. It could be an option for us.
I think we have to do a connection test before we leave. Dave, take it away. The second half's underway.
All right, and we are underway, and it's Lloyd Galloway who was going from left to right and then right to left, and he's upended inside of his own 10. So, listen, the Outlaws, they're up against it, but they're not out of it. And now's the time.
Now or never for Pittsburgh, and I said it during the first half. They could not afford to go behind by 4 possessions. You could argue that they were never able to afford going behind 3 scores. However, with the clock winding here in the third, it is Pittsburgh football, and they need points. They need them quickly. If they get on the board here, all of a sudden, we could be looking at a new ball game.
So third quarter starts here inside the 10-yard line for the Outlaws. The give is underneath, but there is a camouflage wall waiting to meet the ball carrier. Not much happening. It'll be second and long.
It's been really tough for Pittsburgh because you know that with potentially their non-regular offensive line, given the absences from tonight's game, it's going to be tough to pass block. And when your quarterback has no time to throw, the playbook gets cut in half, if not further. And when they've been forced to run the football, Jersey has just won that battle up front each and every snap. And the best plays for Pittsburgh in this game have been the quarterback keepers and plays that have been extended by the quarterback Mills. That one heave down the field, arguably their best play. I don't think it's even arguable. I think it is their biggest play, their most dynamic play of the game.
You appreciate the fact that the Outlaws are not trying to be one-dimensional. Now they work it out into the flat. Good job by Holloway to get away from one tackler, but he is spilled from down low. A minimal gain, but they do get 3 or 4. It cuts it to about a 3rd and 8 coming up.
And what you're hoping for on each third down is for it to at the very least be manageable, where if you pick up something on third, you then have a 4th and short, because we've seen it time and time again. 3rd and very long, more than 10. 4th and very long, more than 10. It's now 3rd down and about 7. Even if you get half of this, you set up a 4th down that is very manageable, and you don't need 2 seconds plus to get a throw off that gets you past the sticks.
So a critical 3rd down here to open up the third quarter. A long 7 short, 8 to go here. They need to get to about the 18-yard line. And they go really heavy here on this near side, spinning and twisting a late flag, and losing his edge was Tahrir Mills. Now, there was a holding as well. At least we saw it from up here.
Yeah, Ramirez got held on the way in, Dave, and it looked like they were trying to set up something on the right side, maybe a screen pass. Will they accept the penalty is the question.
It was a loss of 2 on the play. So to bring up about a 4th and 9 coming up, but will they take actually, are they moving?
They pointed in the direction of a first down.
So there was it was a holding
on the defense?
On the defense, I guess, preventing the receiver from getting off the line.
Wow.
But it'll be a 3rd down and 2.
You'll take that if you were Pittsburgh. I thought for sure Ramirez got held on the way in, and that was the call. That's when the flag came out.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. At least optically, that's what it looked like the flag was for.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. 3rd down and 2. Nothing changes. Still a big play here for the Outlaws. In motion goes Stewart, and he doubles back to the top of your screen. They look over the middle. Catch is made by Holloway. He gets stood up by a couple of Bearcats, but that is good enough for the first down.
And just as I said before, Dave, you make it 3rd and manageable, 4th and manageable. You don't need 2 seconds plus to get a throw off past the sticks. Right there, Mills got the ball out very quickly. I don't think there's a faster developing route than that. A quick slant over the middle, easy pitch and catch, and there was a pocket to complete that throw as well. Not just for the quarterback, but an opening in that defense, an open zone area in the middle there for the receiver to make that catch without getting lit up the instant that he brought in the football.
So 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. The Outlaws do their job. They get out from under their own 10-yard line, are able to advance at least the 1 first down, see if they can piece a couple of more together. Crowded backfield, flanking Mills. Now they send the receiver in motion. Mills corrals a low snap. Here comes the pressure again. Mills all the way back, ducks out of another tackle, but cannot escape Ramirez, who gets himself another sack. A big loss of almost 15 on the play.
You know, as a quarterback, it's very easy to say you can't do that, but Mills needs to make something happen in this game. I think, assuming that Helmick is an eligible receiver, and Miles is, Miles is eligible. Right. They are there. You have to get that football out. The opening was there. And when your protection doesn't hold up very long and you're immediately forced to sprint backwards, it's hard to keep your eyes downfield, but in that situation, ideally, you want to get that ball out to either your back or your eligible lineman.
Yeah, just curious here, Joe. Yeah, Mills is the normal. He is listed as a quarterback wide receiver, but again, with only half the team here, you wonder if he's the normal thrower here on this team, the quarterback, signal caller. 2nd and a long way, and that one is corralled in, and taking a shot and keeping the ball with possession was Galloway. What a good job of concentration. We knew he was going to get smacked at midfield. He sure did, but a great job holding on to the ball.
Oh, Tariq Pusey made him pay right there, Dave, and you're going to see this hit again on the replay. And, boy, what a job to hold on to that football by Galloway. There's no way he saw that hit coming.
No way.
He was spun around into the hit. The ball was just a bit behind him, and I think that set him up for a much bigger hit than it otherwise would have been if he was able to catch that ball in stride and continue across toward the far side.
And there are not a lot of receivers who would have held on to that ball. And the fact that Galloway did, that is a great job by that young man.
And not to be lost in that, Dave, it is 3rd down.
Right.
They did not get a first down on that play.
3rd down and about 6 coming up, a long 6. The Outlaws huddled up at their own 5-yard line. This ball is on the Bearcat side of the field, but it looks like we will have a timeout here in the 3rd quarter, I believe. As
clock is stopped.
Yeah, indeed. So, with this break in the action, we'll have some contestants running out on the field, I'm sure, at some point. They'll participate in the timeout. One of them will look to win whatever contest and be a champion, and champions deserve championship rings. Zolnir championship rings are the official ring provider of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2. See the incredible selection and touch of class at Zolnir. Visit us at zchampionship.rings.com and see our competitive pricing, exceptional customer service, and free quotes always. Zolnir championship rings. Give Director of Sales Joseph Khalil a call at 1-800-303-8548. Zolnir is the official ring provider of the Jersey Bearcats and the AAL2.
Looks like it's going to be a short break, Dave. Teams headed back out there. So the Outlaws
we did it already.
Will take over here at their own 20, or I should say the Jersey 23. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Yeah, now they've put 4th down on the placard.
So it should have been 4th down before.
So it's 4th down now.
It is 4th down now. It should have been set to 4th down when we mentioned it before.
Right. Okay. So it's 4th and 6. And that makes sense because we had a 3rd and 2.
I know, it is 3rd now. Well, no, they picked up a first down, Dave, on the 3rd and 2. They completed it.
Right. That's right.
So I was baffled.
3rd and 6. Been that kind of night. That one is blocked away by Pusey. Nice job as he was bodied up on Holloway. 4th down.
Well, I mentioned you want it to be 3rd and manageable, 4th and manageable. I would say this is right in that area on the edge of manageable. You'd like it to be inside of 5 so you can get the football out quickly. I'm not sure how quickly you can get the ball out here and pick up a first down. Your receiver's got to turn and see that ball coming. If you're Jersey here, I think the key is to not get beat over the top. Don't let them score on this play. If they're going to pick up the first down underneath, I think you're okay with that if you're the Bearcats. We're approaching the midway point of the 3rd quarter here, and Pittsburgh did not show any ability to score from in close when they got down around the goal line. Keep them in front of you here on 3rd, or on 4th, I should say.
And undoubtedly the pressure will most likely be coming here on 4th down and 6. Motion comes, top of your screen, and under pressure, and Mills cannot get rid of it. Another sack for the Bearcats. That time, Keemon Coleman, and once again, the Outlaws turn it over on downs.
Second consecutive drive that has seen Pittsburgh turn it over on downs, but I think overall, that was their best drive of the game. Obviously, the result of it, all the same, no points, but they were able to pick up the first down with the quick completion. They put themselves within striking distance of another first down there, but it is going to be really difficult to sustain a drive the full length of the field given the issues that Pittsburgh has had with their pass protection tonight. And the Bearcats once again will take over in plus territory, a chance to put this game away here with a score.
Yeah, when we looked at that replay too, Mills was dipping out to his right, and there was really no one in line with him, or in line with his line of sight anyway, that he could dump that ball off to. So very, very tough as Rodriguez is back in the game at quarterback here to start the 3rd quarter for the Bearcats, and they are offside as Ward was a bit ahead of the play, and it's been a little bit of a thorn on the Bearcats side here tonight, Joe. They've usually very, very good about timing these snaps, but that's the 2nd or 3rd penalty that they've sustained here, and it'll be 1st and 15.
Well, I mentioned it late in the first half that the coaching staff for Jersey is going to look at this game, and I think they are going to focus on some of those miscues, be it the pre-snap penalty, the botched snap, the little things that went wrong. When you look at the scoreboard, I think you're going to see what appears to be a thoroughly dominant effort from Jersey. That's a fair assessment, but you know these coaches for the Bearcats are going to look a bit more closely at what happened tonight and pick apart some of the miscues.
Especially coming off of a bye week as well, as that pass is in the flat to Ward. Ward bouncing off a couple of bodies, and he will be close to the first down, about 5 yards short.
And I think going back to our discussion on the Bearcats and their performance tonight, something to look at moving forward for Jersey is going to be what kind of football do they need to play to win a championship? Does it have to be completely mistake-free? Are there any mistakes they can afford? That's something that, observing the team, we're going to watch the rest of the way.
2nd down and 5. Rodriguez takes it the other way on the naked bootleg, and he's closing in on the goal line. He's very, very close. Touchdown.
Rodriguez has done a great job with his legs tonight, Dave, and he does it again right there. Just got across the goal line with that second effort down around the end zone. You'll see it again here on the replay in just a few moments, but Rodriguez has shown that he is a weapon with his legs, and early in the game when the Bearcats were faced with a 4th down, I speculated that perhaps they may look to keep the football in his hands. On that particular play, they tossed it to Adams. Here he keeps it, and he takes it all the way from about 18 yards out.
Yep, and one thing Rodriguez does not shy away from is putting that helmet down, dropping those shoulders, absorbing that hit, looking for that extra yard. Bouncing snap ends up to Chris Culo. Chris Culo looking for the pylon. Flag is down. And we'll see what the final result was of that. The arms never came up to signify a successful two-point conversion, even though whatever the call was, the flag was against the Bearcats. So now,
do you take another chance kicking it from further out, or do you just go for it?
Yeah, at this point I would go for it. These extra points have been an adventure, but I don't think they got it, Joe, the two-point conversion, because I think the penalty is being declined. At least that's what it looks like to me. We never did get a signal of whether he was in or out.
It's so tough to make out the goal line as well. I'm inclined to say that he probably got it.
That's what I thought as well. And, yes, they are indeed going to respot the ball at the 13. So it was a 10-yard penalty for the holding, and this will be the conversion attempt. They'll go for 2. Rodriguez back in. Chris Culo on that last play was the kicker of record. No Anthony Storego in this game. The usual kicker for the Bearcats. No motion this time for the Bearcats. Straight drop, good protection. Another flag down, and in the back of the end zone, that one is good. What a strike and a catch. That was Simmons on the two-point conversion, but, Joe, it's coming back.
Well, that ball had some heat on it, and the penalty does not take away from how impressive that throw was. And we'll see what the call is officially here. Maybe we can spot it. There it is. Yep. No question about it. A hold there.
Yep.
Helmick was held on the play.
Yeah, and still pleading their case was Larkin.
There's no question about that one.
Yeah. So, the two-point conversion now from the Bearcats 24, Joe.
You don't see this too often.
No, you do not.
And if there's any team that's equipped,
right,
it's the Bearcats.
Got them right where we want them, right, Joe?
Well, we're impartial. So.
Well,
Jersey has them right where they want them.
That's what they're saying in the huddle. All right, two-point conversion time. Bearcats at their own 24-yard line. After a couple of penalties. Again, no motion. Now they do. And they're going to go on the low screen to Adams. Adams looking for some bodies in front of him. Cuts up middle of the field inside 10. Another flag coming down. Adams did not get in, however. He was short. And I believe, finally, we'll have a decline of the penalty, and we'll have our kickoff coming up.
Well, the Bearcats with a good effort there.
Sure was.
You don't often see Jersey looking to the screen game, especially that far out. Now, the screen game is something we've seen from them down around the end zone over the last 3 seasons of covering Jersey Bearcats football. And Adams got just a bit ahead of his blockers there. And that brief moment where he collided with his lineman might have been the difference.
Yeah.
He was just short by a couple of yards.
I'll tell you what, Larkin complaining again about the hole, but that time I think he had a point. I think he just kind of bumped in to one of the defenders, and they kind of grabbed one another for a moment. But all for naught. That was the longest two-point conversion sequence in history, at least in PDF Sportsnet history. We have 1:48 to go, and the Bearcats up by a stronghold, 26-0. They do have one other shutout this season. That was a 33-0 win over the Steel City Stampede.
Any live updates for us?
No, unfortunately, no, and I don't want to risk jumping on the internet.
Good idea.
To look at any other live streams that are going on, but so we'll be back here next week, Joe and I, for the final regular season meeting between the Bearcats and the Stampede. The return of the favor. There's the promo there on your screen. 6 p.m. next Saturday, June 7th.
Stampede with a nice rebranding.
Absolutely, yeah. That was something that they unveiled in the middle of the season. This one taken at about the 5 and gearing up to about the 15 was Josh Brown. He's been busy as well today doing a multitude of roles. And, Joe, you know, we've had games like this before where they have been one-sided, and with every team making the playoffs, a team like the Outlaws don't have to worry so much about the score or even about winning and losing. At this point, they're going to travel to Michigan for a North Division championships, but it is about getting better with each week. What do they got to do here in these last 16 minutes to feel good about getting on the bus and going back home?
It's really hard to say because you are without nearly half of your roster.
Right.
And the team that we see out there tonight is not going to be the team that we see moving forward. So it's really hard to say, but what I can say is that based on what we've seen tonight, this team has nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
They've given everything they have, and I think things have gotten better as the game has progressed. The Jersey offense has slowed down just a bit, and the Outlaws have picked up a couple of first downs on each of the last 2 drives. So they're showing you something. It's not as if every play has been for a loss, every drive has been a turnover or a 4 and out. I think what we're looking for here, as the Outlaws have called timeout, is a score. And I think if you get one, you feel good about yourself getting on that van or that bus back.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that would be the ultimate here, is being able to register. And I remember the Outlaws lost their last game. That was 2 weeks ago before the break. They lost 68-0 against the Stampede. So, this is a team that hasn't scored now in a long time. If you look at it in terms of, time, last week you got the bye. 2 weeks ago you were shut out. You'd have to go back 3 weeks before this team scored a point. The give underneath, and the Bearcats were having none of it. They didn't buy the fake. Miles gets thrown for a short loss.
It's such a tough bind that the Outlaws are in with their play calling because you know of the issues you've had protecting your quarterback. So on the early downs, you try and hand it off and put your quarterback in those third and manageable, fourth and manageable situations. But Bearcats just aren't having it. Nothing on the ground has gained any traction. Jersey has been all over the running game, and I think that's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter.
Yep, final seconds counting down, and they will not get the play off. So we are through 3 quarters here in Roselle, New Jersey. The Bearcats have a huge 26-0 lead, and the Outlaws at this point just looking for something positive to hang their hat on.
And looking at the score, obviously this game has been all Jersey. But if you look at some of the lopsided Bearcats games that we've covered in the past, the opposition has given up a lot more than 26 points. So there has been some resistance defensively from Pittsburgh. And I mentioned it early in the game. Their secondary did a really good job defending those deep routes from the Bearcat receivers, and looks like we're ready to throw it down to Cameron Williams.
All right, Cameron, take it away.
Yeah, Bearcats are up 26-0 here. They started to get a little sloppy in their play. A couple penalty flags coming in on last extra point, try going for 2. But the offense has been very crisp, and not to mention the defense. Strong defensive plays, stopping the run game, stopping the pass game. It's all been there. They've let up no points. They look to continue to build off of it through the rest of the game. Back to you guys for the fourth quarter.
Thank you, Cam. Great job as always. We appreciate Cam Williams and the job that he's been doing all year long for us. An intern with this Bearcats team and going to the U in Miami. We have a flag down now as one of the biggest plays of the game for the Outlaws sees Mills again taking off outside the tackle in the pocket. And it looked like it might come back though, Joe.
Another flag down on the field. And we'll see what comes of this, as it looks like it is a penalty against the Bearcats here. So this play is going to stand.
We're going to see the replay. Take a look at Cameron Williams getting out of the way here, Joe, of some traffic. Just snuck in. And
where was he?
He was on the near side
there. They continued with him on the field?
They sure did.
All right.
They didn't see him.
Well,
no hazard pay.
Yeah, as you said, he's headed to the U. I was at USF this past week.
Oh, wow. South Florida.
Your favorite entertainment group was there.
Oh, gee whiz.
World Wrestling
All
Entertainment.
roads lead to wrestling on the PDF network.
If you watched NBC on Saturday night, there was a very stern-looking fellow in the front row behind Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. I could have went viral with my stoic look. I was mean-mugging the camera.
And a big slap in the backfield and a huge hit by Roan on Jordan Miles, who's really had nowhere to go in the backfield on running plays, and we'll get to see it again. Ooh.
Man. Every time he's been handed the football, he hasn't had a chance. No. And he was still able to take one of those, bounce it outside, and turn it into a nice gain earlier in the night. So he's made the most of what he's had, and what he's had is no space.
Yep. And on the opposite side, Roan joining the Bearcats midway through the season. I think he joined on week 4 or 5 with this Bearcats team, right in the middle of things, and earning his spot right there. Huge hit in the backfield. 2nd down and long here. Outlaws really struggling to get set up here. The clock running down, and it will be a give underneath again to Miles, and he will get back to the line of scrimmage, but that is all as Ramirez comes in and finishes him off.
Well, here we go again, Dave. 3rd down and very long, about 14 to go. And we've seen that when there have been some bigger plays for Pittsburgh, they've been improvisation. And I think they're going to need Mills to do that again in this spot to keep this drive alive. But I think if you're looking at it from what do you ideally do here, obviously you want the 1st down, but make it manageable. Make it so that 4th down is manageable and you have a chance to get the ball out quickly and pick it up. You can look at this as you have 2 plays to get it. It's a 4-score game in terms of wins and losses. This game, probably a lost cause, but you can still get that score and perhaps make it a bit of a better bus ride home.
So 3rd down and 13. And it will be Mills who's going to run all the way, makes one man miss and is able to pile forward about 3 or 4 yards shy of the 1st down. It's a nice job by Mills to get 10.
And I'm not sure that was the play design, but on many plays, that has been the only option. Step up through the pocket, avoid the pressure, and pick up what you can on the ground. And Dave, he does it. Mills makes it 4th and manageable. We'll see if they can pick up a 1st down and move one step closer to their 1st score of the night.
Yeah, it looked like that was a designed run as well all the way as he was taking off, 1-step drop and straight forward as we approach the 11-minute mark here of the 4th quarter. And the Outlaws are inside the 15 of the Bearcats, but they have a long 3, short 4 to go to get the 1st down. In motion is Stewart, left to right. Now backpedals and moves towards the inside again. In the middle of the field, that one skips off the turf. Flags everywhere from all angles. Holloway pleading his case. I don't think he has to, Joe.
Well, there was some protest from Jersey. I'm not sure how. That is absolutely pass interference on that play. We'll see it again on the
Let's
replay.
Slow it down, too, if we can.
Yeah, we'll slow it down as well and get a look at it, and you'll see the contact come in before that ball arrives.
We'll keep our eye on Hollowell, who's right now in the middle of the screen. And
well, the question is, was he helped to the turf?
Right.
Or was he going down on his own? I think he was contacted. He was going down on his own anyway, but he was helped down to the turf after he had already begun.
1st and goal.
Making an attempt there. So, here we go again.
Yeah. Well, Cameron Williams said it at the break. A little sloppy with the penalties for the Bearcats offensively. Now they pick up one defensively that affords the Outlaws a 1st and goal and a chance to punch one in here. As you said, Joe, will feel good on the ride home. It's only been 6-0 in this half in favor of the Bearcats. Can they win the half? And now it's a loose ball. And Miles had a chance after the tip drill. There were flags in the middle of the field as well. We'll probably get another chance to see that and slow down as well. Just to see what happens in the middle of the field as well here, Joe. Was there a pick play going on as well? Let's see.
Well, I can tell you Stewart appreciated the opportunity, but let's get a look over the middle here.
No, it's right at the snap. So I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in terms of offensive PI there, but even though that ball was incomplete, as soon as the whistle was blown, Stewart was giving Mills the thumbs up. That's where he wanted that ball. Every receiver loves a chance to go up and get it. And we'll see. It looks like it's going to be a penalty against the Bearcats here. It remains 1st and goal.
They moved it half the distance. It'll be 1st and goal.
Clock's still running, about 8:40 to go here, and you have to think that given the lack of success in the running game, you have 2 options here. You either keep it with Mills or you throw the jump ball again.
I was going to say a designed run by Mills is what I would expect, at least here on 1st and 2nd down.
You have the one-on-one wide side. Keep an eye on that.
That's right. On the near side is Stewart. big target, and it's going to be a design run all the way. Mills gets met at about the 2 and driven backward. He'll probably get forward progress right at the 2-yard line. It'll be second down.
Well, you maybe picked up a yard there. You got a bit closer, but I would find it very hard to believe the Bearcats are going to let them keep this with the quarterback and get in. So if you don't have a run with a bit of misdirection, I think you throw the jump ball. I think you throw it and see what you can do. If not, at the very least, move the pocket and then try and throw.
It's been tough, and we've said it. When you get in this close, it's a crowded house in that 8-yard touchdown box, obviously with the rounded corners. There's just not a lot of real estate there, and there's just a lot of opponents' jerseys hanging out there as well. See what Mills decides to do. 2 in the backfield. Mills is going to run it himself again, looking for the pylon, gets tossed out of bounds. Does he have enough? No, he's just short. Or is he? Did those arms just go up?
They did.
They did. They're on the board, 26-6. And the Outlaws have disrupted the shutout. And they have a chance here to win the half. If they can get this 2-point conversion, the score was 20-0 at halftime. It's now 26-6.
Well, I mentioned when this drive got started that things were trending up in terms of the offensive production for the Outlaws. And that being said, this is the first drive to yield points. However, another trend that continues is lackluster second halves for the Bearcats. Yeah. They dominated the first half of this game, and now the Outlaws have a chance, as you said, to win the second half.
2-point conversion all the way. We do have a flag here, and it will be an offsides, I believe, against the defense. And I have my eyes on A.J. Roque. He doesn't look too upset, but this has to bother him too, Joe. I mean, 2 penalties on this drive. Now here's another offside penalty while the Outlaws are just kind of getting ready to snap the ball, not even close to doing so. From a yard in closer, Mills again tosses one, and that one goes off of a couple of bodies as it came off weird off of Mills's hands. So the score remains 26-6 with 6:02 remaining in the fourth.
Well, I mentioned it during our pregame that we find out tonight if any of our officials are Knicks fans. It's about that time, 8 p.m., and we'll see perhaps if any of our officials out there may be Knicks fans with 6:02 to go. But, Dave, I think if you're Jersey here, this drive means something to you. This game likely out of reach for Pittsburgh, but they got their score. It's 6-6 in the second half. If you're the Bearcats, you're really hoping to put together another scoring drive, maybe even 2 in this game if you get the opportunity to be feeling a bit better about how this game ended as opposed to just looking at the final score and seeing a potentially 3-score victory.
Yeah, you know, for the Bearcats, a few weeks ago, they were down 29-28, as we do have our timeout here in the fourth quarter. And it's just about time to start thinking about where we're going to eat after the game, and we know where the lucky winners of the next event are going after this showcase by the Lady Bearcats. It's Applebee's of Linden. They're sponsoring a free dinner for 2 every Jersey Bearcats home game this season, and with amazing drink specials and delicious food, it's where we all should be headed. Make sure to visit our friends at Applebee's of Linden, located at 671 West Edgar Road in Linden. Eat in, carside to go, and delivery options. We've got the food covered. Visit Applebee's and tell them the Jersey Bearcats sent you.
Well, Dave, I want to know, how do you and I become the 2 to get the free dinner?
We got to participate in, maybe we got to participate in this, Joe. We got to go up there and start dancing with the Bearcats.
They can keep their free dinner. I love Applebee's, but I will not be participating in any dance routines, any lip syncs, anything that involves me performing in front of the camera. I think I'm out. Though I do have a WWE alter ego, so.
Okay, and what is that?
Foreman Osborne.
Foreman Osborne, okay. So, does that signify anything special?
There is a backstory, actually. The backstory is the Norman Osborn meme. I'm something of a scientist myself.
Okay.
So we had an ongoing bit where I would always talk about the weather on broadcast. So one time I said I'm something of a meteorologist myself. And our colleague and my partner for that broadcast, Nicholas Pavona, said, all right, cool it, Foreman Osborne, and it stuck. That's where legends are born.
Hey, our nicknames come from somewhere, and they always have that backstory.
Well, now I have to change all of my incognito handles.
Right.
Because now
people know where to find you.
It's not so incognito anymore.
Well, we try to stay incognito. We're usually behind the cameras. People don't get to see us much, and that's because the showcased people are the ones on the field. But every now and then, they'll get a glimpse of us, know who we are, and now they can find us on
Thankfully,
social
no one's
media.
telling us we have faces for radio.
That's true. That one off the glass in play, and it bounces around, and it is O'Day who takes it, and he's spilled down by Miles inside of the 25-yard line. Good heads-up play by the Bearcats to track that one down. And we have 5:45 and counting here to go in this fourth quarter.
Well, that was precarious for a few moments there. If that ball is tipped in the wrong direction, all of a sudden, Pittsburgh has it back. And then you have to start thinking about, all right, how much time is left? Is there enough? But with Jersey getting the ball back, I don't think that's going to be a discussion here. And Coach K's not happy, Dave.
No, special teams is Coach K's bread and butter, and wants to see that corralled a little bit better, maybe even expect those. We haven't seen an onside kick this season, at least not here at Warinanco. They've moved the ball up 5 yards, Joe. I don't know if that's due to some kind of a penalty or whatnot, but forward progress.
The Outlaws bench would like to know why.
Yeah, saw them gesticulating there. So we do have a big Nick game tonight. We know a lot of you folks who are watching this one probably have it on already.
I'm among them, Dave.
Yeah, well, you have it on your phone. Alex Paramethis, right, is the last name? Okay. Alex Paramethis is our engineer. His last name tongue ties me all the time.
Yeah,
but he's wearing his Knicks garb for the game.
Well, we all know where I'll be on Monday if things break the right way tonight.
Pat Gianlorenzo has
his Knicks shirts are all more than 10 years old, though. He
has the hat on. He's got the camo hat for Military Appreciation Night.
Very nice.
We got to turn that camera around, get a look at your hat.
He could drop it in front of the camera. But should things break the right way tonight, I know where I'll be on Monday. There's a look.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Good job, Pat.
But stay right here until the conclusion. You don't want to miss Coach K's post-game wrap-up.
It's the best part about being online is that you can have both on at the same time.
That's
no problem.
And just wait until we expand. More platforms, more ways to watch.
Yeah. Oh, and now we have a way offside with Simmons as unsynced with
that was the falsest of false starts.
The falsest start. And that's, I think, their fourth one of the game, too. So you talk about things you need to clean up, and, when is a win not a win? When you're, counting all of these little things you have to clean up in Mondays and Tuesdays practice. So the Bearcats are seemingly going to go to 6-1 on the season with one game left, but a lot to clean up. Back when we had that timeout before, Joe, that was going to be a point that I had too. Even though they won that game against the Roughnecks, they were down by a point with 1 minute left in that game because they gave up an Uno on the kickoff after a touchdown.
I missed an Uno?
Yes, you did.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the ruse of the Uno, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But,
so what is that? Ball touched in the end zone and recovered by the kicking team?
No, it wasn't recovered. That would have been a touchdown or a safety. It was tackled inside the end zone. And it made the score 29-28. It was a 28-28 game. We thought we were going to be heading into overtime. Instead, it was 29-28, and the Bearcats had to scramble to get a touchdown drive, and they did. So give them credit for finishing that game. But that was a real sloppy game, the sloppiest I've ever seen this Bearcats team. Then they go on the road and lose to the War Eagles in a game that no one expected them to lose. And then you have the bye week, and then you have this contest, and it's going to be a win. But I'm sure this team's going to want to clean up a lot in practice, and that one is spiked into the ground in the general direction of Ward. And it'll be 2nd and 10 as Rodriguez lives to see another day.
Well, that one was spiked hard enough into the turf where I thought we might have a souvenir.
Yeah.
But do you think perhaps there was some carryover from that Roughnecks game into the Maryland game?
I think so, and also, that is a big travel event for this Bearcats team. So, I didn't watch the game. I wasn't able to catch a live stream. I don't know if there was one of that one, so I don't know if the Bearcats traveled down with an incomplete team or what have you. But, that score was a shocker when I saw it, 25-20 in Maryland, especially given, how Maryland has struggled with point scoring this season. Bad snap. Rodriguez losing it at first, still bouncing around. He picks it up off the turf, backtracking to his own 5, has to go the other way, gets to the 10, the 15, past the line of scrimmage, and is somehow able to get 4 yards out of that play. Actually, 9 yards, 4 yards past the original line of scrimmage.
Well, that is as hard-earned a 9 yards as we've seen all night, and there have been some plays that really were extended by both sides. And specifically earlier in the game, we had that long extended play by Pittsburgh. This time, it is Rodriguez reversing field to keep this one alive, and he paid for it at the end.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a hit you want him taking this late.
Not at all. So we have it as a 3rd and 4. It's actually more like a 3rd and 6. That was my fault. I told Alex 3rd and 4, but 3rd and 6, just from the 24-yard line, and now we're going to have a timeout. And is it an injury timeout, I think? Oh, 1 minute warning. It's the 1 minute warning. And they'll want to reset pretty quickly here, do the officials. Get some.
It is 3rd down, and the Knicks have hit a 3.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Threes all around. That's right.
Before we step aside, we do have to talk about our venture in Finland, Joe. Next weekend, we do have a game on the 7th, which is the Bearcats game, but on June 8th, we are going to debut something special on the PDF Sportsnet. It's the Vetera Liga, the Maple League of Finland. This is the NFL of Finland, their top American football league. The Helsinki Roosters taking on the Seinäjoki Crocodiles. That's a rematch of the 2024 championship in Finland. We will have it for you on Sunday, June 8th at 1:30 p.m. We'll talk more about that in a second. The home run ball down the length of the field. Touchdown, Simmons.
And you knew the Bearcats were not going to let this game end without one more attempt at the end zone. They do not disappoint. Rodriguez set up the 3rd down with that long scramble, took the big hit at the end of it. He's unfazed. He stands strong in a crystal clear pocket, had all day to throw. Simmons wide open in the back of the end zone. It is a Bearcats touchdown, and that really puts an exclamation point on this one.
It sure does, and that one flirted with the netting a little bit up top, but just enough of a rope to find Simmons right in the back of the end zone. They'll go for 1 here with Chris Kulo coming back in. The holder, Barry Turner. It's been a little adventurous back there with these extra points, but Turner sets it down. The kick is up, and it is good by Chris Kulo. No flags, and it's a 33-6 game with 42.1 seconds remaining.
Well, no adventure on that one as the Bearcats extend their lead to 27. And Jersey now will defend one final time with 42.1 to go. And we ask the question all the time, is Pittsburgh trying to score here? They're trying to get out of here. 2 thumbs up to the score.
And Joe, getting back to the Finland venture next weekend. So our game and our feed for that game will be directly from Helsinki, Finland. They'll be patching into PDF Sportsnet studios. Joe and I will be on hand 4,000 miles away calling that game in what is a historic first for the PDF Sports Network. It's part of a Game of the Week package that we will have with the Vetera Liga. We are still awaiting word, however, if those games are going to be live on YouTube or somewhere else, probably our website at pdfsportsnet.com. So if you're interested in watching the Vetera Liga on the PDF Sports Network, your best bet, keep up with us on pdfsportsnet.com and keep up with us on our social media accounts. We'll have the latest info as we get it. We're going through some geo-block. Whoa, here's possibly a souvenir for us, Joe. We're going through some geographical things with the Vetera Liga, as we're not allowed to broadcast in the country of Finland, but everywhere else we'll have the English language broadcast. Pretty cool stuff happening on PDF.
We can be anywhere at any time, calling anything that is looking for a team of commentators to bring events to life, and we can never get enough football. And a bit ahead of the NFL season throughout the summer, you can get Sunday football on the PDF Sports Network. You won't find the Vetera Liga anywhere else, that's for sure, unless you live in Finland.
You will not, unless you live in Finland, is correct. And our partners at the SMJL and the Vetera Liga, the Maple League, and even the folks at Ruutu, who are the broadcast partner of the Vetera Liga in Finland, who own the rights there, and all the great folks who are bringing the production to us clean, and it'll have PDF branding on it as well. So we're truly excited for that, and we're hoping that it's the first step into an agreement with some other European and South American leagues as well. Going for the home run is Mills the other way, and that one is well ahead of the intended receiver, Stewart. Joe, I don't want to let any cats out of the bag, but we are working on some developments in South America as well for football there. So stay tuned. That's the only teaser we'll give you for now. But we might have, when we say global football on PDF, we might have it sooner rather than later, but it starts with Finland.
South America, we're talking American football.
That's true.
Okay, no,
American football. Yeah. American football in South America, right.
Right. They play a lot of European football.
Yeah,
it's
exactly. Football or football for me. People say soccer and football. I say football.
I've never once heard you say football in reference to soccer.
I'm somewhat of a linguist.
We've called a lot of soccer. That's a good one.
Here we go, 2nd and 10, and we have flags down here with 33.9 to go.
Just wait until I put your head on the meme later with that quotation bubble. No, I am a master meme maker.
I recall a good friend of mine in college athletics always used to say that to me. He's like, it's football or football, Dave. So that's why I sometimes
Do I know this good friend?
It's Mr. Tom Emberley, who used to be the head sports information director at the CUNY Athletic Conference. He was the SID at SUNY Old Westbury for a long time. Farmingdale, it wasn't Old Westbury, it was Farmingdale. And a couple of other stops as well. Great guy, Tom Emberley is. We have another sack on Mills, and man, he is having a day. And a timeout is called by the Bearcats here. I think.
No mercy.
Oh, it was called by the Bearcats.
It was.
I thought Coach Ja Valentine was calling it because he thought Mills got hurt, but he did not. It's 3rd down and 14 coming up, and got another chance to see the replay. It's been a tough day for Mills. He's going to need the Epsom salts later in his bath for sure.
Yeah.
Took a beating today.
Speaking of SIDs, Dave,
yes.
The opportunity of a lifetime to work alongside one of the greats could be coming up over the summer.
Yeah, that's right. The sports information director position at the College of Staten Island is opening up, where Joe Foreman is camped out in the
Athletic
SID
Communications
office.
Assistant for Broadcasting.
There you go.
Tentative title.
We're watching the replay of the last play, I believe. Let's cut out of this. Let's not. Keep it running as we had flags come up here. Are we live now? Yeah, I think we are live now. All right, 27.5 seconds to go. We had a flag down on the Bearcats just now, and they'll advance the ball. So it's 3rd down and 9 coming up. Next week, 5:40 with the pregame show, 6 o'clock kickoff here from Warinanco, our final regular season broadcast. And then we'll alert you on what the playoff schedule looks like beyond that. Mills looked in the flat at first, thought about putting it up, now is going to run with it, closing it on the first down, has it, and is going to go all the way for the touchdown. Joe, the timeout called by the Bearcats backfires as it's Mills, the one-man show on offense for the most part today, gets in another score.
Well, we speculated whether or not they would try to score. We figured that was a certainty they would. The Bearcats then compounded that, calling a timeout, and Mills did the rest.
Wow.
Impressive play with his legs there.
That was very impressive, and good downfield blocking as well by the Outlaws. You know, when you're a team coming off of a 68-0 loss and you're down 20-0 at halftime, it's very easy to fold up the tents and call it a night. But the Outlaw team has stayed with it. They've stayed within themselves. They were shorthanded all game long, and this has been a very valiant second-half effort for them. You can make the argument the game was long in hand, but like you said, Joe, no reason to hang your head after a game like this.
Yeah.
It's 33-12 and another chance to win the half.
They played a lot better in the second half, Dave.
Sure did.
It seems like this unit, this shorthanded unit, really began to find something in the second half, and I think a lot of it rested on the shoulders of Mills. He improvised quite a bit and made some big plays for them.
And it's going to be a throw, and is it the catch? Is it a catch? Is that a David Tyree helmet catch? It is for the two-point conversion.
Hold on, Dave. Hold on.
We're going to see that again, very slowed down, and we'll see because they're arguing both cases. We'll keep our eye on the official as well, but let's see.
One official said yes, the other said no. Both very demonstrative in the call. So you watch the back judge and then the official that comes in from the right side of the screen.
Oh, you can't really use the boards to help you.
He did.
Make a catch, and he did. And if that's the reason, I don't think the ball touched the ground.
I think it did
but
fall out
aided,
at the end.
But it was aided by the backstop. And they've counted it, Joe, at least on the scoreboard. And for now, with 17.5 seconds to go in the game, the Bearcats' lead is 19. Pittsburgh has outscored them in the half. So you know the Bearcats are thinking about that. How about that?
Well, if you're Jersey, you're not going to be happy with this second half. And I'm not sure how happy they're going to be with this game.
Yeah, it was ugly. It was sloppy. Again, on paper and tomorrow morning, people look at the score and say, yep, all right, Bearcats won it. 19 points, 20 points, whatever. Seemingly easy enough, but it came with a struggle. And how about Ryan Helmick with that touchdown throw? Well, a two-point conversion throw. Unfortunately, any statistics on two-point conversions do not count. So
how about that catch?
Yeah, he just made a nice catch.
Maybe they should have thrown him the football.
Yeah, he can do it all.
I'll tell you, Dave, if Mills was just willing to dump off the football to Miles and Helmick
a couple times,
this game
could be different.
Could be very different.
Yeah. Let's not forget, teams change at developmental level a lot year to year, Joe, but this is an Outlaws team that went undefeated last year in the WIF and won the championship there in the fall. So it wasn't not too long ago. It's a proud organization. They were an associate member of the AAL2 last year or the year before, Joe, I can't remember, where they played 2 or 3 games getting their organization started. Makeshift onside kick, and it was Garner who took it. And gets spilled at about the 17-yard line. 15.5 seconds to go. Head coach Roque goes out again to call some offensive plays. By our count, the Bearcats have 2 timeouts left.
And there is no doubt they will be looking to use them if necessary, as Jersey now leads by just 19. And the Outlaws throwing a punch on, not a literal punch, but throwing, a punch back after the timeout was called by Jersey. By no means were there any literal punches thrown, but I think if you're Pittsburgh, you're happy to see that. Yeah. And if they can end this game 33-14, I think you go on to the bus with some life. And
I think so too.
Pretty good about how this game ended, because the second half was much, much better than the first half.
Yeah, even more if they can, get a stop here or prevent the Bearcats from scoring in these final 15 seconds. Could be a tall order here. There's a lot of football left.
An eternity in the AAL.
With 2 timeouts especially. Yeah. Rodriguez looks in the flat, but that one is into the turf for an incomplete pass. Not sure if he just mishandled that throw. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
11.5 to go now. How important is a touchdown here to the Bearcats?
You know,
does it matter?
I don't think so, but again, for these guys, everybody wants to score. Everybody wants that moment. And listen, I think if you're the Outlaws, you leave this game the way it is now and you say, we won the second half. We physically outscored them in the second half, and we prevented them from scoring on the final drive when they wanted to score. So again, that's a big deal for these guys.
Well, when someone tells you something doesn't matter, and it does to you, you give the emphatic. It matters to me.
Right.
So we'll see.
Out of the shotgun, Rodriguez looking in the middle of the field, finds Ward. Ward turns inside the 5, gets spilled out at the 3, and they do call the timeout.
Never
with
doubt.
4.1 seconds to go.
And I'll tell you, throwing that route in that situation where you know the defense is going to back up and protect the goal line, there is no better indication that they are dead set on scoring again.
Right.
And can you blame them?
So 4.1 seconds to go. Conceivably the final play. Bearcats are down to 1 timeout, so even if they try something here and there's time left, they can quickly call another timeout. The ball is actually spotted at the 3-yard line. And a chance for the Bearcats possibly to hit the 40-point mark for another time this season with a score here and an extra point. Let's see if it happens. What could be the final play of this one. The give is to Adams underneath, and he strolls in for the touchdown. You don't expect a run play with 4.1 seconds left, but that's how confident the Bearcats were. 39-14, and that's how it goes final. They won't even line up for the extra point.
Well, we've said it time and time again the last couple of seasons, Dave. When the Bearcats get down around the end zone, Nas Adams, one of the best at punching it in from in close, and he does so again here to bring an end to this one. And I'm not sure we could have imagined this final score just a few minutes ago, but Jersey wins it by a final score of 39-14.
And they won the half, Joe.
They did.
So the Bearcats scored 20 in the first half, scored 19 in the second, and take a 39-14 win. Before we leave here, we will have, looks like Nas Adams joining Cameron Williams. So let's send it down to Cam when he's ready. Cam, take over.
Here with Nas Adams. Nas Adams, 2 touchdowns today, running it up the gut, running all day. How do you feel after this win?
I feel good, you get what I'm saying? We came out, it was ugly, you get what I'm saying? We're trying to play Bearcat football. We haven't been there, we've been a little slow, but we getting back to things. It just felt good to be back after a bye week, get a good win, you get what I'm saying?
100%. You say Bearcat football. What is Bearcat football to you guys? What does that mean?
We just try to create an identity, you get what I'm saying? On offense, we like to be slick, we like to be fast, we like to be smooth. Defense like to be aggressive, you get what I'm saying? We like to put the fear into people. So if we're not playing like that within ourselves, we just feel like we're not playing Bearcat football, you get what I'm saying? So
100%. You guys put up 39 points. What was the key to success on the offensive side of the ball today?
Just staying poised, being together, you get what I'm saying? Like I said, we came in from a bye week. So we're just trying to mesh everything, make sure everybody's good, be healthy, and we're trying to make something happen.
100%. Thank you, Nas. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Cam. Great job as always, and I'm sure we'll get Coach K next up on the microphone. But guys are having fun down there, Joe. A win is a win, and looks like Cam is ready with Coach Corey Miller. Let's send it down to Cameron.
I'm here with Coach K. Coach K, big win, 39-14. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously, get back in the W column's always great. We got to obviously clean a few things up. You know what I mean? But other than that, it feels good to get the win.
Yeah, 100%. You guys had a couple penalties that kind of cost us a couple points there. But coming off a bye week, this must feel nice.
Yeah, it does feel really good. We were a little banged up. We signed like 2 or 3 guys. We figured it could help us in the long run. And it's just one of those things. Everyone's healthy. We had a lot of bumps and bruises. It was good to have that week off.
100%. After signing a couple more guys, how big will those additions be to this team, especially with the injuries that you guys have dealt with?
Oh, number 10, I don't even know his name. I think it's like JJ. We just call him Puka. He was flying down on kickoff. I told him day one, I was like, if you want playing time, you're going to have to win it through special teams. He definitely showed out today. Same with Melvin, one of the other key guys.
Awesome.
We also had, first play as a Bearcat, I had a sack. My guy J-Rock, number 13, he was definitely killing it all day. High energy guy, got a motor, got some moves. Really like really, really like how he's doing and see how we can add him into the mix of things in the future.
100%. Coach K, got anything else for us?
That's about it. If you see this, it's time for bed.
Thank you, Coach K. Back to Dave and Joe.
Thank you, Cam. Great job. And I like what Coach K says at the end. It's time for bed. Joe, it's time to put this game to bed. Final thoughts before we head into the season finale next week.
Bearcats did a lot really well in this game. They still have a lot to clean up as well. I think the second half is beginning to become an issue for them at times. And I think, as you said, Dave, you made the point, you don't want to read too much into it because the game at that point, well in hand. And that's a good thing if you're Jersey. Very often, you've played a very strong first half, but we've said it time and time again. We mentioned it during the pregame. You're looking for 4 quarters of great football. And if they can put that together consistently the rest of the way in the regular season and through the playoffs, there's no reason to believe this team can't win another AAL2 championship. Season finale coming up, and then it's on to the playoffs. The Bearcats also lock up first place tonight.
That's right. With this win, the Bearcats have won the East and have guaranteed home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That means good things for us here at the PDF Sports Network and good things for the fans here in attendance. Next week, though, still matters. Jersey will play the Steel City Stampede. We'll get to find out who Jersey plays in the first round of the playoffs as a result of that game. So plenty on the line. Once again, your final score here, 39-14 for our entire crew. Alex Paramithis on engineer, Pat Gialorenzo on camera, our sideline reporter, the great Cameron Williams. For my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman, I'm David Pizzuto, wishing you a great rest of the evening, a great rest of the weekend. Thanks for hanging in with us during this sometimes difficult broadcast. We appreciate it. That's going to do it for us. Once again, your final score, Jersey 39, Pittsburgh 14. This has been the AAL2 and Jersey Bearcats football on the PDF Sports Network.